Josh Johnson and Ricardo Allen are both really gifted corners. Now, he's got an opportunity to make a play. And remember, when Notre Dame is negative in that turnover differential, Tom, they tend to lose football games, and that was a real good jump right there by the corner.
Well, that was the story last season, wasn't it? The turnovers sinking what could have been an outstanding season. Here's Golson, second down pass on target. DeVaris Daniels makes the catch. He had position, inside position, and makes the grab.
DeVaris Daniels, another one of their big physical wide receivers. He gets the hips of the corner turned, which allows Golson to have the window to throw it into. And remember, those corners are 5'9", 186, and 5'11", 195. So Notre Dame's got a huge size advantage, whether it's a tight end or a wideout.
3 tight ends in the game for the Irish, who have gone exclusively through the air so far. Here's Golson. Is he changing the play? He's given a little more freedom, as Coach Kelly said. Now under center. Flag down as Theo Riddick gets his first call of the game, and only a yard or so. Penalty flag came down early.
So instead of 3rd and half a yard, where they went with a little wham blocking with Tyler Eifert, now what you have is a 3rd and 5.5 situation, and that changes everything. Here comes the motion. Eifert going back the other way.
So 3rd down and 6. The Irish against Navy, excellent on 3rd down. Pressure and a sack back to the 40-yard line. It was Kawan Short. Kawan, of course, is one of the top defensive linemen in the country, All-American. They had a little stunt on it, looked like, and he came free for a loss of 10.
He actually comes right up the middle. Kawan Short, 305-pound, preseason All-American. Watch him with Braxton Cave. Just a little swim move, and the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. He gets to the quarterback before he can do anything.
So Ben Turk will punt on 4th down, first punt of the season. Josh Johnson is deep for Purdue. And Turk booms it downfield. Here's Johnson, lets it bounce. Well covered by the Irish, so down it at about the 9-yard line. Excellent punt of 49 yards. Backs Purdue up. They'll have their first possession when we return to Notre Dame Stadium in a scoreless first half. Well, Notre Dame got a 22-yard strike on the first play from scrimmage, but then the drive stalls. They punted away, and now Caleb Turbush, who last year hit nearly 62% of his passes for 1,900 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Rolls to his right, and the ball caught and then dropped and incomplete. Crosby Wright dropped it. It'll go incomplete. And here is Caleb Turbush. He's the senior from Metamora, Illinois. Went the last 4.5 games of last season without throwing an interception. Turbush handing off to Shavers. Akeem Shavers thrown back by the front of the Notre Dame defense, led by Capron Lewis Moore, one of the senior captains.
Really enjoyed our conversation with Capron Lewis Moore yesterday. Tore his knee against USC a year ago, had surgery late October. One of the more stout defensive tackle, defensive end in the country at 305 pounds. Tom, when he got here, he was a 225-pound outside linebacker.
Old man Cap, they call him. He's graduated in his 5th season at Notre Dame. Has a marketing degree. Here's a 3rd down play as Turbush runs it up the middle, scrambles, and picks up a first down to the 25-yard line. Good scramble by Caleb Turbush for 15 yards.
Yeah, at 6'5", 225, you don't really realize how athletic this kid is. Now, Stephon Tuitt almost rolled out. Look at Tuitt right here. Very gifted sophomore. He almost rolls out and makes the tackle, but Turbush athletic enough to get up the field and get a first down.
Here's the handoff to Shavers. Couple of yards up the middle. And here is the starting Purdue offense, brought to you by Adidas. And on the offensive line, it's anchored by senior center Rick Schmeig. And among the backs and receivers, Edison caught 7 passes last week against Eastern Kentucky. He has a reception in 22 straight games. Second down, 7. And the handoff is to Edison, and there is Edison, who is a slot back that they do hand the ball off to quite often. And Notre Dame ready for it. No gain on the play.
You know, kind of interesting because the first several plays, Notre Dame on defense had 3 senior linebackers in the game, Tom. Danny Fox, Carlo Calabrese, and Teo. 4-3 alignment. Now they've got the freshman Shoemate in the game. And this is their sub package.
Third down, 7. Turbush with a play action fake. Rolls, good protection. Man wide open and caught. Akeem Shavers out of the backfield with a big reception. Jamora Slaughter finally bumps him out of bounds, but not till the Boilers convert a third down with a 22-yard gain.
Really nice job by the quarterback selling this, because the single back right here goes on the fake, and then he's just going to continue out. Throwback, breakdown and discipline on the backside. You can see Teo and Slaughter chasing him. That's a really quality call and good execution.
First down, Boilers. Pass to the perimeter to Edison. Here's the Notre Dame defense, brought to you by Adidas. And Tuitt, of course, had that spectacular 77-yard fumble return touchdown against Navy. Manti Teo back for his senior season, the unquestioned leader, one of the best linebackers in the country, and a lot of question marks at corner. Russell, the freshman starter, the first at cornerback for the Irish. Here's Shavers with a short gain on the play.
Like the captain there on the shirt, huh, Tom? It kind of breaks with tradition, and some people might not like it, but the 4 captains today for the first time in Notre Dame history will wear the C on their shirts.
Play action fake. Turbush complete to Edison. Edison dancing, can't get away. Stopped short of the 40, and I think short of the first down by a foot or so by Zeke Mata. Sure tackle by Mata.
One of the things I think Bob Diaco's secondary has done better than any other secondary in the country the last 2 years is tackle. Now, when you introduce young corners into that, it gets complicated. Bennett Jackson missed the primary tackle. However, Zeke Mata, the senior, came in, cleaned it up, and we've got our first big 4th down situation.
4th down, less than a yard, just shy of the Irish 40. Opening drive for Purdue. From the I formation, hand to the tailback, Shavers, and he has the first down. So they convert a third down earlier on this drive, and this time on 4th down.
They're probably their best lineman up front. Peters Dry, the left guard, pulls, gets up in the hole, just gets enough push there on Teo and the defensive lineman to get just enough for a first down.
Ishak Williams finally stops him, but not until Shavers picked up first down yardage, keeping the drive alive. Trip receivers to the top of the field now as Turbush from the shotgun. Across the middle, dropped. Gabe Holmes, normally sure-handed, dropped that one. He had 4 receptions, including a touchdown in the opener a week ago.
And I've talked to an awful lot of people in college football, scouts in the NFL, etc., and they say this young man has got a chance to have a big future in the NFL. He's 6'6", 247. Dwayne Carlisle, who's their strength and conditioning coach, told me he ran a 4.57 electronically timed, which is rare for that size. So you've got to catch the football, but the guy's got huge upside.
Second down and 10. Rolling to his left, Turbush sets his feet, fires downfield, and way off target on that one. Intended for Edison. Like difficult throw to make when you roll to your left, and he was off target on that one.
Yeah, and nice coordination there between Zeke Mata, the safety, overhanging the route, and Bennett Jackson underneath. And Tom, that's what we talked about in our open, taking care of these young corners, making sure you've got a safety over top. And with Harrison Smith gone in that secondary, Jamar Slaughter and Zeke Mata are the guys that communicate back there. They're two of the better tacklers amongst any safeties in the country, and they're going to have to babysit for a little while with these young corners.
3rd down and 10. Turbush crossing route with a flag down. It was caught by Bush. The ball comes free. It's going to be a hold against Purdue.
You know, Tom, we talk about babysitting these young corners and Jamar Slaughter and Zeke Mata. Watch Jamar Slaughter, 26, as he comes across with motion. At the very end, you're going to see him signal to his young corner, because at that point, there's a communication issue. You've changed the strength of the formation, and he's telling that young corner exactly what to do and where to go, and I give Slaughter a ton of credit.
Devin Smith guilty of the hold. Setting up a 4th and 10 for Purdue as they go into punt formation, try to pooch punt and back the Irish up deep.
They had a problem with this last week, Tom, right? They had one block because the kicker and that group in front were too close to each other, and they had a punt blocked.
Kicking it high. Fair catch called for and made by Neal. Punt 29 yards without a return as Cody Webster backs up the Irish deep.
Are you a fan of Demoisier?
Demoisier who? Okay, you can't get by on just your looks forever. Okay. You just ordered a premium roast coffee and a savory sausage McMuffin for only $1 each off McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast. So you know you're smart. He has a certain je ne sais quoi, you know?
Ooh, tout pas français.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. The simple joy of being smart.
The HTC Evo 4G LTE from Sprint is now available in white. Evo lets you hear what you love with Beats Audio and capture what you love with both video and stills. It's everything you love about Evo in white. Available only at Sprint stores and Sprint.com.
Hey, it's Sandra from accounting.
Peter.
I can see that you're busy, but you were going to help us crunch the numbers for accounts receivable today? I mean, I know that this is important.
Well, both are important.
They are.
Let's get clear.
But this is important too.
The receivables.
Michelin knows it's better for Xerox to help manage their finance processing so they can focus on keeping the world moving. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
We love seeing you at Bank of America.
But we know you want to be able to bank wherever you are.
Bank of America Mobile Banking lets you bank on your schedule.
Now you can securely deposit checks you get right away with your smartphone camera. Watch this.
It doesn't get more convenient than that. See? Success.
It's amazing. Check balances, pay bills,
and much, much more.
right here.
Bank on your schedule and deposit checks on the go. Download the Bank of America mobile banking app today.
I need to get back to work.
Golson from the shotgun retreats to his own end zone and finds Theo Riddick backing up, who makes the catch. Looked like he stumbled a bit. He was backpedaling, but still makes the grab for 17 yards.
We saw Purdue with a throwback to their tailback. Similar philosophy here with Riddick in the backfield.
Riddick moving back to running back after spending a couple of years as wide receiver. He said he really felt at home back at running back. He said back there 7 yards deep, you don't get a feeling anywhere else except from that tailback spot. He's out of the game now. George Atkinson is in, standing alongside Everett Golson. Golson's pass snatched from the air by Daniel Smith. As we look at the Purdue starting defense, brought to you by Adidas. And the defensive line, a Boiler strong point. Keep your eye on Short. He's the All-American candidate, has a sack already today. Purdue linebackers pretty unproven now, as Beckford was dismissed from the team. And in the secondary, Feichter, a former walk-on. He was a high school teammate of Tyler Eifert of Notre Dame. Bishop Dwinger in Fort Wayne.
2 tight ends in the game, in line and over here. So they've got 2 tight ends into the boundary.
Golson pumps once, then is scrambling, running to his left and taken down as he approaches the sideline by Ryan Russell.
Russell's kind of a gifted kid. 6'5", 275-pound sophomore defensive end. I saw him at practice a couple of weeks ago and really felt like he has an NFL-type body. He's got an edge rush here. Good block that time by Zach Martin, but look at the speed. Was told on the field before the game by Coach Hope he's got a 37-inch vertical, Tom, and they think he's going to be a 300-pounder by the time he's done.
From Creekview High School in Carrollton, Texas, where he made 62 tackles as a senior. And Notre Dame is forced to use a timeout. Brian Kelly's not happy about it. Timeout Notre Dame, their first, with 6:26 left in the opening quarter. Everett Golson. Scrambling. That's a room up the middle. Twisted down. I think he got the first down. Nice scramble by Everett Golson. It is first down Notre Dame. Brandon Taylor finally tackled him, but he saw an opening up the middle, took off, and picked it up.
Watch Eifert here. He's just going to come out and up the field against a small corner. And look at it. If you throw this ball towards the middle of the field with that 6'6" body, it might be a touchdown. So he's got to be aware when he's got an isolation with Eifert and no help over the top. Now, I give him credit for scrambling and getting the first down because he's only a sophomore, but he's got to be aware of Eifert when he's singled.
And unlike Tommy Reese a year ago, he can make plays with his feet, Everett Golson. Pump once, go deep, down the sideline. And too long for T.J. Jones. He was defended by Ricardo Allen.
Yeah, Ricardo Allen was a highly recruited kid out of high school. 25 consecutive starts, only 5'9", 186, but quick. He's got long speed. He's got great feet. And we talked about the defensive tackles being the strength of this defense. I also think those 2 corners are both potential NFL-type kids. So it's the defensive tackles and the corners that are strength of this team.
Second down and 10. Today's first down line brought to you by Xerox. And here's a reverse to Jones. T.J. Jones lowers his head and gets another yard. He'll be just short of the first down to the 45-yard line of the Irish. Josh Johnson took him on and stopped him after a gain of 9.
Yeah, and Golson gets a little bump on Jelani Phillips, which really made the play. Now, whenever you get reverse, what are you trying to do? You're trying to fake out the backside. Little bump right there on Jelani Phillips. It wasn't a big hit. He didn't knock him down.
Slowed him down, though.
He slowed him down. He kept him from keeping contained, and that's a plus right there for the young quarterback.
Well, Golson telling us yesterday that not getting to play at all last season, he learned what he had to do to compete for the starting job. And obviously he's learned some things, that time making a block that enabled it to succeed. And now, though, has to call another timeout. What about the game management here?
I know, Brian, look at him laughing. And that's what we talked about. Maybe he's a slightly different guy this year and aware of it. Game management, 2 timeouts in the first quarter. Everybody would say that's horrible.
And, of course, it could have been the play was late getting in, too. You see Coach Kelly going,
There's no doubt, and I'll tell you what, I'd much rather, if I'm a head coach, I'll take the timeout every time over a confused quarterback who might force something with a bad personnel group in the game.
This is third down, and the handoff to Riddick. And Theo, I believe, will pick up the first down before he's tackled by Antoine Higgs.
Mike Golick, the right guard, is the offensive lineman that pulled right here. And it's short yardage. This is about grubbing guys out. Get low, drop your pad level as a tailback, and push the pile. And again, another short yardage conversion for the Irish.
Irish continue on a drive that began at their 8-yard line. They've advanced to the 47. Toss. Sweep to Riddick. Riddick got some good blocks and goes inside the 40-yard line, and a flag comes flying. 15-yard gain on the toss to Riddick.
Well, that's a nice job outflanking contain immediately on the quick pitch. They haven't really shown this.
Wow. That Zach Martin, you see the C on his shoulder, and that's not the way a captain's supposed to operate. A late hit nullifies a 15-yard gain.
I actually thought the wide receiver, DeVaris Daniels, could have been called earlier for holding. Let's see this late hit at the very end of the play. Number 70 right here, out of bounds, 3 or 4. And you know, Tom, it doesn't look like much, but it's not called for. He's clearly 3 yards out of bounds.
Golson underneath the screen to Daniels. DeVaris Daniels dances his way to the 45-yard line of Purdue.
Troy Nicholas, the converted outside linebacker. And let's face it, Bob Diaco, I'm sure, argued about moving him from defense to offense. But he's 6'7", 260, one of the better athletes you'll see. And I think down the road a year or two, you'll see him as one of the premier tight ends in the entire country.
2nd down and 2. 4 wides, 2 to each side. Play action fake. And Golson, wide open Eifert. Eifert across the middle, wide open down to the 15-yard line. 29-yard gain before Taylor Richards makes the stop for Purdue. How can Eifert be that wide open?
Little play action fake. Watch Feichter here, the safety. He bites on the play action, and that's just a little slant and go. Feichter read run the whole way. Good play action fake. Golson puts it on him. And Tom, you're right. Best player in the other team, you better account for him every snap.
1st and 10 from the Purdue 16-yard line. Final 3.5 minutes of the opening quarter. Golson fakes, keeps. Gets the corner and takes a hit as he comes to about the 12-yard line. Josh Johnson met him there.
Talk about the tight ends, Tom, which has been a common theme since last week. There were 3 tight ends into the boundary that time on a planned quarterback run. Notre Dame's trying to send a message that we've got a big physical offensive line, and we're going to get physical with everybody we play.
Danny Hope, the Purdue coach, saying this game would be won in the trenches. There's a miscue that'll cost the Irish 5 yards. And there's Danny Hope, the Purdue head coach, who beat his alma mater, Eastern Kentucky, in the opener last year. He's in his 4th season and his 9th season as a head coach.
Very solid football coach who comes kind of from the offensive line component, knows how to protect his quarterback.
Golson calling out some of the protections. Fake it.
There's
Golson steps up, tackled, sacked on the play by Ryan Russell.
Tom, young quarterback. He had the isolation he wanted. It was a pump and go. Fake the quick screen. Watch Eifert. He's going to come out and fake the block and now go. Again, you've got the one-on-one isolation you want on Josh Johnson. 6'6" against 5'11". Throw it right there. Throw it. But he's on his back foot, and I think he's so cognizant, Tom, of not turning the football over, he's not pulling the trigger.
Loss of 6. It's 3rd down and 17. Lays it up for the end zone as he took a hit. And Nicholas was wide open, but because of the Purdue pressure, Golson was unable to hit him.
Yeah, I'm happy he's not hurt there, was able to get up, because that was kind of scary coming low. Will Lucas, the linebacker, getting the pressure.
I won't give him a pass on that one because he took a pretty good
Sure
hit
did.
and he saw it coming, knew he had to unload the ball. So Kyle Brinza will attempt a field goal. It's a 40-yard attempt. Brinza from 40 yards away is no good. So wide right on the field goal attempt. Danny Hope celebrates because we're still scoreless in the first quarter.
Time Warner Cable is dedicated to the future of our nation's children. That's why we've launched our Connect a Million Minds initiative. We're asking adults to help us inspire kids through science, technology, engineering, and math. And we're achieving this through local partnerships with FIRST. Across the country, Time Warner Cable employees are helping bring FIRST robotics competitions to the areas we serve. The future of our nation and our children depends on math, science, and technology. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Every time the Bills score, children win.
Join Connors and Ferris and Hunter's Hope by joining the Every Score Challenge at connorsandferris.com.
Workers' comp has changed. It's not like it used to be.
Benefits are now capped or limited. Workers' comp is even closing cases without a hearing.
Don't let workers' comp deny you your day in court.
Connors and Ferris can help. Call us today to discuss your case. Remember, we don't get paid unless you get paid.
Shop at Fusillo Hyundai during our Save a Fortune event and you'll go home with the best parting gift ever. Cash! Hey folks, Tile Park. That's right, you're going to save a bunch of money during our Save a Fortune event, particularly on the gas-sipping 40-mile-per-gallon all-new Hyundai Veloster, $189 a month at Fusillo Hyundai on West Ridge Road. You know, that's just one example. Everything is priced to move. These new Hyundais all have the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 5-year roadside assistance, and you save money. That's huge.
Pride of the Motor City, king of the highway, guzzler of the gasoline. Farewell, old Captain.
300,000 miles, 4 rotting tires, and some weird smell in the back seat, and it's still in my driveway.
Shotgun, flanked by running backs. They ran into each other, so Turbush keeps it. Good improvisation by Caleb as he gets about 7 yards out of it.
Yeah, 330-pound Lewis Nix got a big piece of Akeem Shavers. Watch Nix come through. There, now you got a little bit of a confusion at the mesh point. And it was a good job by Turbush, a good decision to pull and go.
So 2nd down and 3, final minute of the first quarter. Hand it to Shavers, trying to get outside and cannot, will lose yardage on the play. Sheldon Day got penetration, the freshman from Indianapolis.
Sheldon Day, who enrolled early at Notre Dame. Stephon Tuitt got a good piece there. Another big 3rd down, intermediate. This is, you can pass or run here at 3rd and 4.
Turbush has played the entire first quarter, although we expect to see maybe 3 quarterbacks for Purdue. This one snagged from the air, a nice catch just short of midfield. O.J. Ross with a 1st down catch for Purdue.
Sub package. Elijah's shoemate here. He carries a little bit too deep here, and they're going to throw right off him underneath. See that? He carried through too deep. Bennett Jackson makes the tackle. You've got to be aware of down and distance.
Trying to get one play off before the quarter ends, and they do. It's Turbush keeping and paying the price. And that play will bring the first quarter to a close. At the end of the first quarter, Purdue and Notre Dame are scoreless. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC.
Watching sports.
The Notre Dame Replay second quarter is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola.
Purdue's winning up front, Tom. We talked about that in our open.
What's the rule of thumb? If you're fielding a punt, don't field it inside the 10. They did, and starting from the 12, Riddick is thrown back by Ryan Russell.
You know, over the years, Tom, Purdue, I think, has had a better defensive line than people realize. And there's been a lot of rush ends, defensive ends, that have done extremely well in the NFL. And if you look at this list, Spencer and Kerrigan are the only first-rounders. The rest of them are mostly mid-round guys. Cliff Averill, boy, is he good off the edge. Ninkovich, Ray Edwards, are you kidding me? Sean Phillips in San Diego. And I look at this group here, and the strength is inside. Kwan Short and Gaston.
Second down, Golson finds Riddick. No, excuse me, it's Toma. And Toma will be taken out of bounds at about the 12-yard line by Ricardo Allen.
Now, Tom, if you sit here and say, could you summarize the first half so far? You know, you take a Notre Dame team that ran for 293 yards a year ago. We just showed the graphic 7 in this series, and you'd have to take your hat off to this Purdue front. I think their defensive line is dominating a very good Notre Dame front.
You were mentioning those NFL players, and Purdue the last dozen years is ranked in the top 10 of all college football programs in regard to the number of players that have drawn an NFL paycheck. Might not realize that, but they've sent a lot of players to the NFL.
Empty set blitz.
Golson buys time, delivers, and it's caught. Troy Nicholas with a catch for the first down as the Irish convert from deep in their own territory. A 30-yard gain.
And this is the X factor right here. Improvisation. This kid has great feet. He runs extremely well. Ricardo Allen, 21, will come off the edge from a slot blitz. He just runs right around them. But I love the eyes down the field, the throw on the run. Nicholas at 260 pounds, so athletic. Boy, that gives you some hope if you're a Notre Dame fan, those two young men.
First down, Irish. Theo Riddick.
Tom, that's a little more what I expected to see after I watched the tape against Navy. That was the kind of play they ran last week. Outside stretch play, nothing fancy. Let the big offensive line get a helmet on a helmet and get downhill.
Now second down and 5. Notre Dame approaching midfield. Still scoreless in the first half. 7.5 to go, second quarter. Again, that front of Purdue is tough to run on. 2 yards for Riddick.
You know, as we watch the evolution of this young quarterback, Everett Golson, I think he's very, very concerned about throwing interceptions. I think he's trying to take care of the football. I think he's thinking a lot. But ultimately, you want to see those improvisational skills because he's got great feet. He can run. He can do things that makes a defense uncomfortable. And I'd like to see some more of that.
Brian Kelly talking about him said he's an artist, and he didn't just mean his piano playing either. He means
exactly.
Play action fake, and he rolls, sets, delivers, downfield, open, caught. It's Daniels. Out of bounds, inside the 10.
Remember, it's 3rd and short. Purdue, a man-to-man team, is stacking the box, trying to stop run. Tavares Daniels is right here on the edge. Boom, corner and safety come up. That's a busted coverage by one of them. It's either Josh Johnson or the safety that time. One of them busted that coverage, Max Charlo. And I love the call, Tom, right? The aggressive call there, and trust your young quarterback.
Did stay inbounds for 41 yards as Charlo undercut him. 1st and goal. And Golson keeping and showing us again that he can run with the football. A new dimension for the Irish quarterback this season with Golson manning the controls.
He's channeling his inner Tebow right there. That's a planned quarterback run. And when you do that, coaches call it trying to out-gap the defense. You've got an extra blocker in the run game, and I love it in the red zone. A lot of man coverage down in there. And let this kid make the cut, drop his pad level, and pick up positive yardage.
2nd and goal from the 3.
Watch out for number 80, right?
Better find him.
You better locate Waldo's down at the bottom of the screen. There he is.
Running the fade, and a flag down as he snags it. No, they say out of bounds, incomplete, but that'll be pass interference. Josh Johnson defending.
exactly what we saw last week against Navy. Playing the role of Michael Floyd this year, Tom, let me introduce you to Tyler Eifert.
How many tight ends can run the fade route?
He's all by himself on the backside into the boundary. By definition, a mismatch. That's pretty good coverage. Josh Johnson has got to interfere to try and break that up. At 6'6" against 5'11", and Eifert is just so big and strong. Look at the battle going on.
Better to interfere than give up the score.
And I'm not even sure I'd call that interference.
Yeah.
I love the effort by Josh Johnson right there, stripping the football away from a guy like that. And they could come right back to him here. We got the same situation down here on the bottom.
Golson's going to keep it. Everett Golson stops short of the end zone.
Robert Macy, the outside linebacker, did a nice job knifing through and getting a piece. Another planned quarterback run right at the edge. There's Macy. Does a nice job getting off the block, falling back inside and making the tackle.
Second down and goal. The ball just inside the 1-yard line.
Where's Waldo? There he is in motion.
Yeah.
Coming back. This is a typical run play here.
And Purdue was ready for that. Hit in the backfield by Robert Macy, the first man to arrive on the scene.
Yeah, Macy does a really nice job here, knifing underneath right here. You've got to account for the end man on the line of scrimmage there in your blocking scheme. They let him come through basically untouched. And, Tom, you got to put 7 on the board here. First and goal from the 1. You've got to get 7 here.
Riddick now 5 carries, only 6 yards after gaining over 100 last year. Third down and goal. This time the ball back at the 3.
Eifert. Where's Waldo? Motion.
Golson fakes, rolls to his right. He's going to keep it. Tries to get across the goal line. Did not make it.
This is going to be an interesting call here for Brian Kelly.
Spot the ball at the 1.
Great effort, right, by Golson. Eifert got knocked down, by the way. Eifert got knocked down, coming off the line of scrimmage. So he only had one receiver, knew he had to run the football. Great effort. Boy, I don't know if he was in bounds or not. It's hard to tell. Where did he go out? That was really close. That's great effort by the young man. Here we go. Look, he's in. I think he threw it at it. I don't think he had control over the pylon. He let go of it.
No possession. So
correct.
He stays on the field. It looks like Coach Kelly is going to go for the touchdown.
I say go for it. This was really an excellent effort. He's got the ball extended in his right hand with first contact. He's still in bounds right there, but the ball, he loses possession of the football. Remember, if it hits the pylon in control, it's a touchdown. But I don't think he had control as he loses it right there. Boy, that's like on the 2-inch line, Tom. Boy, is that a great effort.
And as always in college football, I'm sure the replay officials have had a good long look. Steve McBride is today's replay official.
If he still has possession right there, that's a great look at it. If he still has possession, that's a touchdown, folks. Nothing is touching the ground. His knees are fine. He's inbounds. All he's got to do is the point of the football cross the goal line or the pylon, and it's a touchdown. Is that conclusive enough, Tom? What do you think?
I think it's not. All right, so
there you go.
That was the case. He did have possession. It touched the pylon when he had possession. It is a Notre Dame touchdown. Everett Golson with his first touchdown rush as a Notre Dame player. And it was set up by his longest pass completion, 41 yards to Daniels. Lavaris Daniels' longest reception.
And don't forget the play he made on the blitz where he got outside contained and threw for another first down. That drive was about Everett Golson, folks.
Kyle Brinza for the extra point, and he boots it through. So good pickup, Mike. It was ruled a touchdown upon further review. And the Irish have the first score in the game. They lead Purdue 7-0.
From the beginning of September.
Purdue takes over. It's at its 42-yard line. Marv is still a quarterback, and he heaves it downfield. Inadvertent contact with Gabe Holmes. He got his legs tangled up with Kavari Russell, and it's incomplete.
You know, what happened there is Purdue was taking off on what Navy did last week to Bennett Jackson, where they flow goes one way, and then the route's going to come back the opposite way. A post corner away from flow. You got the corner turned around. You could have called a penalty there, but Tom, I think you were right. Watch the feet. You see what happened right there? His feet got caught up with himself. It was nothing to do with the Notre Dame defender.
2nd down and 10. Robert Marv remains the Purdue quarterback, replacing Turbush. And here's a look up the middle as he saw open field and dives for a first down. So Robert Marv with a scramble. Rees and Teo finally got him, but not till he had picked up 11 yards and the first.
Look at the C's open up here, Tom. I mean, that's just really good job by Marv identifying it, getting his head down, picking up the first down. And it's important that Purdue answers the Notre Dame touchdown drive. We're closing in on 3 minutes left in the first half.
And here's a flag.
Substitution.
Illegal.
Yep.
So illegal substitution.
Remember, their defensive coordinator's coming from Canada, so occasionally they might try to slip a 12th guy in there, Tom.
They're on offense.
I know. I just had to find a way to work that in, though.
Clock at an even 3 minutes. Marv has a man wide open, and the ball knocked free on the hit as Holmes had it, and then Jamora Slaughter, and there's a penalty marker.
Now remember, just like in the NFL, there's a renewed emphasis on safety, especially against defenseless players.
There is no foul on the play then as they pick the flag up.
It's the big tight end, Gabe Holmes. Slaughter is still down. Holmes at the left of your screen, 250 pounds, and a big hit by Slaughter, who starts to get up and then rolls down. Now, it's a shoulder to the shoulder.
Which is legal, yeah.
Perfectly legal. Ooh, man.
Had he used the crown of his helmet, of course, that would be a penalty, but they picked the flag up.
He shook himself up a little bit. I'm happy to see him get up and walk out. He'll have to take this play off. And remember, they're really thin in the secondary with the loss of Austin Collinsworth, the loss of Low Wood. That's why they're so young and inexperienced at the corner position and the safety position.
Matthias Farley, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, comes in at safety to replace Slaughter.
Here's Bob Diaco, and this Notre Dame defensive coaching staff looks a lot like the University of Iowa with Curry, Cooks, and Bob Elliott, 3 of the 4 defensive coaches with Iowa ties.
2nd down and 15 as Marv changes the play. Still plenty of time on the play clock.
3-man rush.
And a handoff to Shavers. Good gain for Akeem Shavers, close to the 40-yard line.
I love the call. This is good coaching in advance, Tom, because it's a 3-man front by Notre Dame. Very vanilla, and they don't even have to block the defensive end. Why? Shembo just comes running up the field. Boom. They're just going to run it inside him. You barely have to even touch him. Schmid gets on the linebacker, and before you know it, you're picking up 8 or 9 yards.
11, actually, which sets up a 3rd down and 4. Marv, quick toss, dropped by Ross.
How many drops have we seen this half by Purdue tight ends and receivers, Tom?
A bunch.
We've had 2 by Gabe Holmes. We've got 1 by Crosby Wright. And now we've got another by O.J. Ross. That's a first down. This is like a turnover. I hate to be overly critical, but if you don't get a first down here, that's like a turnover.
Go for it on 4th and 4. Marv looks to the sideline.
Let's see if they try to get him to jump, Tom.
They did get him to jump with that hard count, but no contact made.
Now they're going to snap it.
Marv rolling to his left, throws back, it's caught.
Wow.
Crosby right, clamps onto that one for the first down, and Marv, usually not effective rolling to his left, threw back across the middle. It gains 10, and Purdue's still in business.
He wants a slant at first. It wasn't there, and like you said, Tom, he's much more effective to his right. They comes back across Carlo Calabrese's 44. That's a great throw and a great catch by Crosby Wright.
Now from the Notre Dame 30. Marv wide open, drills it complete to Ross. He holds on to this one and makes a nice run after the catch. He's inside the 15-yard line before Zeke Mata gets him down. That's a 16-yard gain. So Ross, who dropped a first down, what would have been a first down earlier, holds on to this one.
Yeah, and we talked about young corners and missed tackles. Kavari Russell right there. Last year, Blanton, Gray, whether you like those guys or not, they made tackles. Really good move by Ross.
Shavers upended at the 10. Mata again on the job.
I think Notre Dame might have played that play with 10 players. Danny Fox came screaming off the field, and I'm not sure he made it, but it's legal to play with 10. Here he comes running off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 10 out there.
1 minute left in the first half. Second down and 6 from the 10-yard line for Purdue.
Be aware of that tight bunch. They go opposite.
Shavers still on his feet. Tripped up as he goes to the 5-yard line.
Tom, if they put 7 on the board here, it goes back to 4th and 4, right? With the scramble by Marv back across to the left. That's the key play to this drive.
Third down and a yard from the 5. Timeout, Purdue. So Purdue takes a timeout with 33 seconds left in the first half. Boilermakers threatening to try to tie it up.
Your first move doesn't happen on the field. It happens before your opponent even.
Marv faked the handoff, throws, it's batted down and incomplete. And Lewis Nix, who made the play on the running game, the previous play, looked like he got the big paw up to bat it down.
Yeah, this is his kind of football here down by the goal line. He gets a really good push on Cody Davis, gets the big mid up. Tom, I thought Zeke Mata had great coverage there. I'm not so sure that thing wouldn't have been picked off. Notre Dame did a nice job, and look at that.
Looked like Marv was surprised a bit by the high snap. Throws it to the end zone for the touchdown to Antavian Edison. Edison, who has caught a pass in his 23rd consecutive game, catches his second touchdown pass of the season.
This is a typical goal line play. It's just going to be a rub. Those two receivers come out. Edison uses the rub. Bang, touchdown. Very simple goal line play, anticipating man coverage.
Sam McCartney will attempt the extra point. And it is good. A drive kept alive by a successful 4th and 4 conversion at the Notre Dame 41 results in a tie game with only seconds left in the first half.
He puts together a really nice drive and then goes in and scores the touchdown. What does that mean for you in terms of what you might be able to do on offense in the second half?
Well, clearly, he's starting to see things. He's feeling a lot more comfortable. And now that he's got a half under his belt, we can go in here at halftime, show him 2 again, and we should be much better.
Capron and Jamoris?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we'll have to see at halftime here and find out where they're at.
All right, Tom, could be 2 significant losses to Notre Dame's defense.
All right, Alex. As the Notre Dame players enter the locker room in a 7-7 halftime score.
Save big during the...
This Saturday at 7, it's the Courage Bowl as the U of R takes on St. John Fisher. See it all only on Time Warner Cable SportsNet. This Saturday at 4, the Syracuse Orange hosts Stony Brook. See it live only on Time Warner Cable SportsNet, Rochester Sports Network.
For more than 30 years, Reed Eye Associates has been helping you see better with the most professional ophthalmologists, optometrists, and fully licensed opticians in the area. Reed Eye Associates is proud to announce it has been named the 2012 New York State Optical Retailer of the Year. This award recognizes our high standards of customer service, something our patients have experienced for years. Come to any of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest location in Newark, to see what Reed Eye can do for you. Reed Eye Associates. See what you're missing.
Studies show the best time for a Ford summer sales event is the summer. Here you are looking at an edge. If somebody is really right here as you're going down the highway, that little guy lights up right there. You like the Fusion?
We love the Fusion.
Mileage matters?
Absolutely.
Up to 33 miles per gallon. F-150. Power for V8. Fuel efficiency. From a V6. And what do we call that again? EcoBoost. That is correct.
Right now during Ford's summer sales event, get 0% 60-month financing on 2012 Edge, Fusion, and F-150. That's 0% for 60 months.
It's the summer sales event, and you're invited.
The Notre Dame Replay third quarter is brought to you in part by Xerox.
So here is Everett Golson starting the second half from his own 34-yard line.
Confusion with Purdue. Finally kicked their inside linebacker Gilliam back inside and let the safety on Toma. Look at Brian Kelly.
Looks like it kind of confused Notre Dame too, because they had to look
on
to
both sides.
Had to look to the sidelines. And what was that?
This is obviously man-to-man here. Somebody's got to win.
Pass batted away at the last second by Josh Johnson. He's done that a couple of times today. Intended for Eifert. You remember, first play from scrimmage in the game went for 22 yards to Eifert, who out-wrestled Johnson for the ball. Since that time, he has been right.
You're exactly
step for step
right,
with the
Thomas.
All-American.
And just a half a step late by the quarterback. When Eifert makes the break, the ball's got to be in the air. Josh Johnson's a quick-footed corner, and you've got to be cognizant of that.
Second down and 10.
Empty set, they're spreading the field. Completely different look than Navy a week ago.
And then Riddick comes into the backfield and gets the handoff. And he's across the 40 to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 7. Ryan Isaac, Robert Macy get credit for the Purdue tackle.
Interesting conversation with Riddick yesterday also. He'll graduate in 3.5 years, and he wants to take your job or my job, Tom. I'm not sure which.
First in his family to graduate. He's one of 5 siblings.
Again, a little bit of confusion. They're all looking over for the play on the sideline.
Quick toss to Riddick. Made a nice man miss. He made a nice move to make that man miss and is into Purdue territory. Joe Gilliam made the stop, but not until he took the ball to the 49 of the Boilermakers. That's an 8-yard run.
Second time they've run the quick toss out of shotgun, and watch him make Will Lucas miss. And we talked at the top of the show. I know he can make you miss. I didn't know he had so much toughness.
Almost like a chest pass in basketball, which Everett Golson was an outstanding basketball player, highly recruited. Averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in his basketball days. Said it was his first love, and he missed it. Doing pretty well on the football field, though. He's accounted for most. Yep, I just shut up, shouldn't I? As he dropped the snap. He's accounted for most of the Notre Dame yards today, either passing or running, but that time fumbled the shotgun snap.
Look, their inability to block the interior defensive tackles is forcing them to a perimeter game. Braxton Cave, the problem with that was he was trying to go to his left, and the shotgun snap was to his right. So he was leaning one way, the ball came the other.
So now it's second down and 16.
Put you behind the chains now. You want to try and get 7 or 8 back. Just try and get something manageable. I want to get this kid on the edge and let him make some decisions in the pass run game. Timeout again.
Irish forced to burn a timeout early. 12-13 left, third quarter, facing a 2nd and 16 in a 7-7 game. Second down, 16. Golson lofts it up high, double coverage and nearly intercepted. Tyler Eifert again, the intended receiver, and he drew a crowd.
Tom, we're talking about this push inside from these tackles. And Chris Watt, who's a pretty good guard at 310 pounds, get pushed back right in his quarterback's face. First, we'll see the route. One-on-one again. Here comes a safety in late. The ball's too high, and it's thrown, underthrown.
Third down and 16. Golson rolling left, sets his feet, has the man wide open, and he's caught for a first down. Another clutch catch by Tyler Eifert.
And Eifert is split out again with Josh Johnson on top of him. And I mean, you can put a 255-pound tight end out wide and now let him run a dig route behind the safety. Really good throw back across his body, but that's a mismatch, and you got to take advantage of it.
So facing a third down and 16, they convert with 23 yards on the pass to Eifert as the flag comes flying in.
Trying to get Taylor on the field and give Short a blow. And remember, Short have been tough to block, but he gets tired. So they're trying to get him out of the game. They've got a three-man rotation with their defensive tackles.
So on the illegal substitution, it makes 1st and 5 for the Irish. 1st and 10 line brought to you by Xerox. Golson just threw that one away. Wise decision, nobody open.
Pressure again from Gilliam and Macy that time. And Tom, I think if he reads it right early, as soon as he starts sprinting to his right, I thought T.J. Jones had a step, but you're right. As soon as he extends the play, the safety comes over the top and you can't make the throw. They're really having trouble blocking this Purdue front. Uh-oh, Macy's coming. Right here. See if they check out of it now.
2nd down and 5, and they change the play. And they go again to Eifert, who snatches it out of the air with those strong hands. 1st and goal, Notre Dame. Lucas and Feichter had him bracketed, but here's big Tyler Eifert catching it for 25 yards.
And watch what happens over here. They're waiting for the blitzing linebacker because he pre-read this before the snap. He pre-read the blitz. Because of that, he's able to get the football down the field, one-on-one, a mismatch. On a linebacker, Tyler Eifert's going to catch that back shoulder every time.
Eifert 4 receptions, 98 yards. 1st and goal from the 3. Golson pumps once and then throws it wide of Eifert.
Looking for the back shoulder. Remember, they threw the fade a couple of times in the first half. Good coverage. They're trying to go to his back shoulder. Too conservative a throw this time. Josh Johnson's fighting, man, all day long. That throw's just too much away from the back shoulder. Give him a chance to catch it.
2nd and goal from the 3. Play comes from the sideline.
One-on-one again. Top of the screen is Tyler Eifert.
Golson rolls the other way and delivers a pass. Caught by Jones. Off the turf, T.J. Jones makes the touchdown reception.
Yeah, and this is a play where you've got to hit it quick. It's a sprint to your right. He's only going to be open for a minute till Taylor Richards can undercut it. Throw it low and outside. It's a really good throw. And again, you'll see Taylor Richards, the safety, will try to undercut this. The ball's got to be low and outside. Everett Golson threw it on time and accurately.
Brinza, the extra point. And it sneaks through as T.J. Jones makes his first reception of the game. And it's a touchdown from Everett Golson. Notre Dame's first possession of the third quarter results in a 14-7 lead. Earlier in the game, Notre Dame scored and then Purdue answered. So the Irish have just taken the lead with a score, and now Purdue again will try to answer with Caleb Turbish. Handing the ball off to Akeem Hunt. Hunt starting at running back because they were working on the sideline on Shavers. Carlo Calabrese stops Hunt after a pretty good first down run.
You know, the key play on that last drive, 3rd and 16, the pre-snap recognition. They know blitz is coming. He changed the protection so the tight end would pick up the blitz.
Here's Turbish under pressure. It's picked off by Bennett Jackson.
And
Jackson with the interception to the 20-yard line.
I'm a little surprised we're seeing Turbush instead of Marv, who was the spark plug in the first half. And the reason they have Turbush in the game is because he's supposed to be turnover free. Makes a bad decision while he's being hit. Bennett Jackson is the hang defender. See the pressure. Shembo from the left. He rolls to his right. Sheldon Daly. Now you can't throw that football. You're wrapped up. The play's over. When you throw that in the air, really good job by Jackson reading the throw and making a play.
First turnover of the game. An interception by Bennett Jackson gives Notre Dame a first down. Theo Riddick. Good run on first down before Will Lucas tackles him.
Tom, we talked about Eifert and his blocking. Watch him out wide here. And this is a completely different guy than I saw a year ago as a blocker. He gets under Josh Johnson and buries him. Remember, that's quick toss to his side.
Second down and 4 at the 14 of Purdue.
I'm not sure Josh is going to want to press man him anymore. What do you think?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure that's a good match.
Not good. Golson with a handoff to Riddick. Makes a cut up. Just shy of the first down. Did the ball come loose? A scramble there.
I look at K1 Short over the top. I couldn't see on that where the ball came out. It's clearly on the ground there. Brian Kelly saying our ball, let's run a play quickly. Let's go.
Third down and 2.
Oh, call a timeout. He's mad at the ref.
Yeah, he thought the play clock didn't reset. I think. That's what he's saying. We'll sort it out and come back in just a moment. Coach Kelly is right in the middle of all that, and he's not happy.
Oh, he's 15 yards out on the field. He's not happy.
Now third down and 2 for the Irish. They're at the 12-yard line of Purdue. This coming after the interception by Jackson. First turnover of the game. Golson scrambling in the pocket, just throws it up for grabs. And that was an uncatchable ball, so no penalty despite the collision in the end zone.
Yeah, DeVaris Daniels, 6'2", 210. This is great defense. Contact at the line of scrimmage by Josh Johnson, stays on him the whole way. I mean, you can't call that either way, offensive or defensive pass interference. But the minute he got his hands on him at the line of scrimmage, the play was over, and it forced the quarterback, Golson, to throw it away.
And there's Daniels being helped to his feet.
And Tom, by the way, I have no problem with the freshman quarterback throwing that thing up in the stands. You know, you're in the red zone. You got to get points on the board after that turnover. So if the play isn't going to work, and credit the defense for doing an excellent job on the corner, let's kick a field goal. That's what you have to think.
Brenza missed a 40-yard field goal in the first half. This one will be 30 yards.
Right here is where the push comes. 93, K1 Short has 6 career blocks on Pats and field goals. They do a great job of getting push. And remember, he can dunk at 6'3" and 300 pounds. He gets up.
Brenza gets the kick away and boots it straight down the middle. So the interception turns into 3 points for Notre Dame. Short unable to block that one.
His helmet came off, though. Somebody got under him pretty good.
So with 9:02 left in the third, Irish put a little distance between themselves and the Boilers after the interception and the field goal by Brenza.
Watching sports on Xfinity from Comcast is like having a front row seat to the biggest moments. With NFL Red Zone, ESPN Goal Line, and the Watch ESPN app, you're right there for all the action. This is the Xfinity Sports Experience. This is awesome. You won't get all this with satellite or Uverse. Sign up for Xfinity TV and Internet, just $79.99 a month for 6 months with a sports entertainment package included for 3 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
How do you make summer feel 90 days longer? Get to the Mazda Summer Drive, because you can save big on a 2012 Mazda 3 with no payments for 90 days and 0% APR for 60 months. So get our hottest deal of the summer on the 40 MPG Highway Mazda 3 with SkyActiv technology. 0% APR for 60 months, no payments for 90 days. Only at the Mazda Summer Drive, and only for a limited time.
Huh. Are you a fan of Demoisier?
Demoisier who? Okay, you can't get by on just your looks forever. Okay. You just ordered a premium roast coffee and a savory sausage McMuffin for only $1 each off McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast. So you know you're smart. He has a certain je ne sais quoi, you know?
Ooh, tu pas français.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. The simple joy of being smart.
Golson looking to the sideline. Riddick switches sides with him. And we're ready to go. And the pass on target to Jones. He has it for 11 and a first down.
Tom, that's an easy one. That's a double slant. And he picks the right receiver. Boom, boom. Clears out underneath, makes the throw to T.J. Jones, gets up the field for a first down.
Ball spotted at the 19-yard line now. Riddick resets. Golson hands it to him. And Riddick makes a nice move at the line of scrimmage, lowers his head and gets a couple of yards. Will Lucas takes him on there. Riddick a little better running the football in the second half than he was in the first.
We've seen him the last couple of years as a slot receiver. Obviously, Sierra Wood's been suspended for 2 games. And I've really been impressed with Riddick. He's just a lot tougher than his 200-pound frame would indicate.
After only 6 yards rushing in the first half, he's already rushed for 23 here in the third quarter. Golson hesitated, then again finds Jones, T.J. Jones, with another catch, and this one good for a first down. It'll be at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I think their sophomore safety, E.J. Johnson, was in the wrong zone. That was wide open. Tom, as you said, he pumped it, thought about it, and threw it. It should never be that wide open. Now here are these two guys right in the middle, 625 pounds, and they've struggled blocking them all day long.
Toss, Riddick. Theo with a hurdle job gets it to the 35-yard line. Let's go to Alex.
Well, Tom, you guys mentioned Sierra Wood. He'll be eligible to play next week, of course, serving that suspension. I spoke to him before the game. He said he's learned a significant lesson from his mistake. It's been a rough day for Theo Riddick. He and Coach Kelly have been going back and forth. He's been getting yelled at a number of times here. A kid that loves contact and really wanted to do well in this game.
All right, Alex, that's one of the reasons Theo told us that he relished the return to running back when they asked him in the spring if he would like to return to running back. He said, I didn't even hesitate, and said yes. And said, I like the contact. Golson scrambles, can't get away. Taken down for a sack.
Gaston with pressure up the middle, Latta from outside.
Third sack of the day for the Boilermakers.
See right here, Latta 91. Nicholas pushes him to the inside, and there's a little confusion there. Nicholas thinks that the tackle's going to pick him up at that point, Zach Martin, and he darts through the gap created by the tackle and tight end, both assuming the other would pick him up.
3rd down and 11. That's a false start, which is going to cost him 5 yards. Looked like it was Zach Martin.
And they had a linebacker on Riddick on a deep route. They got what they wanted, Tom, and they jumped. I think both Martin and Riddick kind of twitched on that one. And I mean, Riddick was so excited because he knew he had a linebacker one-on-one.
So the ball now at the 24 of the Irish with 3rd down and 16. Golson trying to buy some time and does get away and then ducks out of bounds. Well short of the 1st down. It'll be a punting situation for Notre Dame. Will Lucas made sure Golson went out.
Smart defense on 3rd and long. They played a deep shell, deep zone. See the shell right here. Nothing was going to get deep on 3rd and 16. They're going to allow him to throw it under. They're going to allow him to scramble. Nice job again by 93 Gaston. Excuse me, by 93 Short. Force the punt.
Ben Turk in punt formation with Josh Johnson deep. Came close to being blocked, and Johnson calls for a fair catch. Makes it at about the 28-yard line. Tommy Reese calling in plays from the sideline today as Everett Golson's been the quarterback. It'll be Purdue's turn when we come back. Robert Marv, who directed Purdue's only touchdown drive today, now takes over at quarterback after Turbush was 0 for 4 with an interception in this 3rd quarter. And he's running for his life, unloads it with Tuitt in hot pursuit.
You know, Tuitt is just so athletic. And, Tom, when you look at that body at 6'6", 303, you look at the way he ran that 77-yard interception last week, his speed and size combination make him an obvious first-round pick someday if he takes care of business, goes to class, works hard, becomes a better player. He's got all the ability in the world. He just has to keep working hard at it.
A sophomore from Monroe, Georgia. Had 3 starts last season, 30 tackles and a couple of sacks. Short drop by Marv, rifles it complete to the 35-yard line, and then Ross sheds the tacklers. It has to be caught by Mata from behind to save a touchdown. What a move by O.J. Ross.
Yeah, really. Poor tackling. This is about the 3rd or 4th time we've talked about young corners and tackling. This time Jalen Brown. Okay, your coverage is okay, but make the tackle. Carlo Calabrese, make the tackle. Matthias Farley, make the tackle. Young defensive backs, and that will not be acceptable to Bob Diaco. I almost thought it was a horse collar at the end, too, by Zeke Mata.
27-yard gain, including 20 yards after the catch. Hunt works his way ahead for about 4. As we approach the 3-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame leading by 10. Scoring a touchdown and then converting a turnover into 3 points. Bob Diaco, the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. Interesting to hear Manti Te'o talk about Diaco yesterday and said, might not have come back had he not been my coach. And he says, quote, I love that man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to hear him talking about his linebacker coach and coordinator that way.
Ross, another great move by O.J. Ross. Down to the 28-yard line. Calabrese finally got him to the turf, but not before Ross made another nifty move after the catch, and it resulted in a 13-yard gain.
And Tavian Edison gets the block on Jackson. Now here comes Fox, and that's a mismatch. You got an athlete in space and a linebacker. I expect O.J. Ross to win that every time. Well done by Purdue, and Marv has them moving again, Tom.
Marv indeed has them at the 28-yard line. 1st down, Purdue. Pass to the flat, caught by McCarthy.
That's Delapo McCarthy, a walk-on. Now this is a smoke. Everybody thinks it's run on the offense. Only the quarterback knows he's going to throw it out wide to McCarthy down here. He sees soft and off. Everybody else in Purdue's run, missed tackle again by the young corner, and all of a sudden you're inside the 10-yard line.
20-yard gain, 1st and goal from the 8. Hunt to the 5. 3-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and goal.
Tom, keep in mind what's happening now with Jamar Slaughter injured, right? You see Jalen Brown in the game, in addition to Kavari Russell, Elijah Shoemate, Matthias Farley, a bunch of guys at Notre Dame Stadium that have never taken snaps at the college level before, and it shows.
Playing without Jamar Slaughter at safety and Capron Lewis Moore at defensive line, both injured in the game. Here's Marvin, 2nd and goal from the 5, rifles it. Again, McCarthy on the receiving end. He'll be out of bounds around the 1-yard line.
McCarthy's an interesting guy. I just mentioned he's a walk-on player, was a high school basketball player, and he's 6'5", 220, and also a quarterback in football. Converted to wide receiver because they've got a bunch of munchkins out there, and they need a big presence in the red zone.
The ball is spotted between the 1 and the 2 of Notre Dame. 3rd down and goal.
Last time they ran the pick play to Edison coming across.
Edison in motion, but I don't think they beat the play clock. Oh, that would be a...
That's inexcusable. That's on the quarterback. That's inexcusable. You're looking right at the 25-second clock, and now he's upset over there, as is Edison. They want to get these plays in more quickly, I would anticipate, but it still has to be on your quarterback, who's a 6-year veteran of college football.
Danny Hope, his offensive coordinator, is Gary Nord. So now the ball back at the 6-yard line, where it's 3rd and goal.
Big tight end out here, Gabe Holmes. Watch some kind of pick action out wide.
And whistles will stop that play before it began. Wow. And timeout taken on the Purdue sideline before they ran the play. So prior to the snap, the Purdue coaching staff getting the timeout. Edison in motion. Marv got away once, not twice. Sacked to it.
Starts with coverage, Tom. Starts with coverage. I think there was a disconnect with the quarterback and his wide receiver Ross, but it starts with coverage. You're going to get motion with 3 receivers to the wide side. Good job by Notre Dame being over the top of it. And then at the end of it, Matthias Farley undercutting O.J. Ross. When you have good coverage, then you're going to have time for pressure. Shembo from the outside forces him back to his left, and here comes Stephon Tuitt cleaning up as usual.
And a field goal will be upcoming when we start the 4th quarter. That's the end of the 3rd with the score Notre Dame 17, Purdue 7. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Coke Zero.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Ide, and if you're in the market for a Mazda, you have a new choice of where to get it. We'd love to meet you here at the all-new Dick Ide Mazda in Penfield, just off of 441, directly in front of our Honda store. Come see us. We strive to give you the best Mazda buying experience around. All the great Dick Ide benefits, our rewards card, free oil changes and loaner cars, and much more can be had at Dick Ide Mazda. We look forward to meeting you at Dick Ide Mazda in Penfield.
A Save a Fortune event is on at Fusillo Hyundai, and the savings on our certified pre-owned vehicles are attracting quite an audience. And here's the reason why. You can drive home a 2010 certified pre-owned Hyundai Elantra for $14,888. Yes, and that's not all. You get the balance of the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and it's now transferable. Yes, see for yourself. Save a fortune at Fusillo Hyundai. It is huge.
Live Syracuse football is on TWCS this Saturday afternoon as the Syracuse Orange host the Stony Brook Seawolves. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. See it live only on your home for college sports. Time Warner Cable SportsNet, Rochester Sports Network.
Hasselton Toyota did it again. This is our 4th year in a row achieving #1 in Toyota sales for the region. We couldn't have done it without you. Hasselton has proudly served the Rochester and surrounding community for over 90 years, and we pride ourselves on outstanding customer service, honesty, and integrity. At Hasselton, you'll find over 500 new and used Toyotas to choose from, and all of our new Toyotas come with a complimentary maintenance program. You can trust our award-winning service department to maintain your Toyota even if you didn't purchase from us. Experience why Hasselton sold more Toyotas in Rochester last year than anyone.
The Notre Dame Replay fourth quarter is brought to you in part by Adidas.
Notre Dame football presented by Coke Zero. We start the fourth quarter with the Irish leading 17-7. Danny Hope saw his team stall. They had the ball all the way to the 1-yard line. Now it's back at the 16 on 4th down, and a field goal attempt by Sam McCartney, his first field goal attempt of the season. Snap was a little wide, but McCartney has no problem booting it through. And so Purdue closes within 7. Here's our Coke Zero score by quarter, with Notre Dame outscoring Purdue 10-0 in the third, and then Purdue opening the fourth quarter with a field goal. Tyler Eifert on the sideline again for Notre Dame, the All-American tight end. We still have gotten no word on if he is injured, but looking back through plays in the game, he did take a pretty tough blow to the head right here. In fact, he caused it, I guess.
Yeah, and this is 2 or 3 plays before he came out of the game. You can see him continue to block, and you hate to speculate about injuries, but Tom, there's only one reason he's not playing, and it's because of an injury. And when you see that shot to the head there, and the fact that he's walking around with nothing apparently wrong with any appendage, you could probably surmise that with concussions being such a hot button issue, that's got to be the issue.
Alex, of course, has checked with the sideline, but no definitive word has been forthcoming. Handoff, and not much for Theo Riddick. Josh Johnson went down low and flipped him over. And, you know, with teams erring on the side of caution, you can understand that take care of Eifert. There have been 2 other injuries of significance, too, to the Notre Dame defense. Capron Lewis Moore and Jamora Slaughter today.
Correct. This is a critical drive. Even if you don't score, you've got to get a few first downs and clear field position before you punt.
2nd down and 7. Again, they'll run the ball with Riddick. Stopped short of the 20-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down. Josh Johnson made the tackle again.
And that's a name you've said a whole lot today, and I'm really impressed with this young man. And he's a draftable corner that's going to run about 4.45. And what I like about him is he's feisty. In man coverage, he's sticky and he's tough. And in the run game, he'll tackle.
Senior from Dade City, Florida, twice academic All-Big Ten.
Purdue's a man-to-man team. Look at Johnson staring over at Notre Dame sidelines. He's trying to steal signals. They're a man team. They're lined up saying, go ahead and beat us.
Option play and a pitch. Riddick sidesteps a man and picks up the 1st down.
Huge play by Riddick because Will Lucas had a chance to make a tackle there and force a punt. That will extend the clock for Notre Dame. Watch 45, Will Lucas flash right here. If you make this play, it's a punt. Riddick runs through the tackle. Would have liked to have seen him get up the field, square his shoulders, and stay in bounds and keep the clock running. But they got the 1st down, most importantly. And Ricardo Allen took a hit and is on the sideline.
Play clock, 6. Golson in trouble. Sacked back at the 10-yard line. That was Zenwa.
Yep.
Nnamdi Nzenwa, who made the play, the senior from Ackworth, Georgia.
He had a couple tackles and a forced fumble a week ago. This is another one of those coverage. Here comes pressure from the right, and now here comes Nzenwa from the left. Quarterback Golson, I would have loved to have seen him once he broke that tackle pocket to throw the ball in the 10th row. Just get rid of the football and save the yardage from a sack situation.
Spotted at the 13, loss of 10.
That's the 5th sack by this Purdue defense, and again, that front is dominant.
Second down and 20. Golson fakes and then keeps. He can't get the corner and fumbled the ball.
Josh Johnson has played a great football game. Look at, he made the tackle, forced the fumble, and recovered it all on one play. This kid's played a phenomenal game.
So the first Irish turnover comes deep in their own territory.
Wow, is this some kind of... Watch the right hand strip the football. Is he down yet? Nope. He's clearly up. The ball's clearly out. And Josh Johnson, young man, you've played a great game. I can't wait to watch this tape. You've competed against the big tight end. You've competed against their wideouts. You've tackled their tailbacks. And you just made the biggest play of the football game.
Your first move doesn't happen on the field. It happens before your opponent even sees you. It can leave you hanging, steal your spark. Your first move can jeopardize everything you've worked for. Or fuel it. Your first move can set up your success before you've even played the game.
Carb energy to fuel athletes. Gatorade Prime, part of the G Series.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
It's hard to call it radio when it's this out of the box.
Listen to that! Man, you know just what to say.
You might be a redneck.
Fox News alert on several dramatic new developments.
Frank Sinatra.
You're a delightful audience.
Let's go to Margaritaville, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown!
This is satellite radio. Welcome to Sirius XM.
Hey, it's Sandra from accounting.
Peter.
I can see that you're busy, but you were going to help us crunch the numbers for accounts receivable today? I mean, I know that this is important.
Well, both are important.
They are.
Let's get clear.
But this is important too.
The receivables.
Michelin knows it's better for Xerox to help manage their finance processing so they can focus on keeping the world moving. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
First down and 15. The clock shows 3 minutes and 24 seconds.
Remember, they're playing with a young man by the name of Tony Springman right now because of the injury to Capron Lewis Moore.
Marv in trouble and sacked. Gavari Russell and Lewis Nix.
Watch the wheel route up here. This is what they want. And a great job by that freshman corner, that young corner, Bennett Jackson, that we talked about. He reads the play, turns around. Now you can't make that throw. Once that throw can't be made, here comes the pressure. Gavari Russell, the true freshman, goes low. And I hope he didn't get hurt. Anytime somebody coming off the edge of the quarterback, you hate to see him go below the waist.
Turbush across the middle into double coverage and somehow was able to split defenders and get it in there to Edison. I don't see how he got that one in there, but he did for 13 yards.
Edison's another feisty kid. Tremendous quickness. I'm not sure how he fit it in between Fox, Teo, and I believe Farley, the safety. 3 blue shirts, and somehow Edison came up with the football. Great throw and catch.
4 down territory, of course, this stage of the game. It's 3rd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. for the end zone. Turbush throws it way over the head of Gabe Holmes.
He had him too. Gabe Holmes had it on the back end of the end zone, and that's the big tight end, 6'6", 247. Watch what happens. Teo walls him off, but then when he goes deep, Teo kind of lets him go. If you can throw that with some touch over Teo and before the end line, it's 6. Way overthrown.
So now 4th down and 10 from the Notre Dame 15. The 84th meeting between old rivals Notre Dame and Purdue has come down to a 4th down play as they play for the Shillelagh in a series that dates to 1896. Purdue with the ball, 4th down and 10 from the Notre Dame 15-yard line after recovering a fumble. The Irish trying to cling to a 7-point lead. Caleb Turbush steps in the pocket, throws it complete. Touchdown! Antoine Edson. Edison with the touchdown catch on a 4th down and 10. An extra point away from tying the game.
What a great throw. He beat the linebacker to the inside, and the safety was late getting there. And Tavian Edison is such a tough, quick, scrappy wide receiver.
Here's McCartney for the extra point to tie it. And Purdue has called a timeout. Purdue takes their final timeout.
Edison in the slot. Now he's going to make a little move and across the linebacker Calabrese's face. Once he does that, he wins. Now, Mata makes a huge hit, and the ball comes out late. But they just have to make sure the ball crosses the plane of the end zone because he stops right there. Elbow and ball across. That's clearly a touchdown. Not even a question there. You know what I liked about that route, Tom, was the patience right before he made the move on the linebacker. He settled down and then burst to the inside. It was a great move, and he's so quick. Way too quick for Carlo Calabrese, and he didn't get the help.
Up, and it is good. And the game is tied.
Welcome back to Save a Fortune. Tom Park, your host here at Fusillo Hyundai right here on West Ridge Road in Greece. And no matter what kind of vehicle you're shopping for this month, you're sure to land on huge savings. Folks, here's a huge way to save money. The all-new Hyundai Sonata, great gas mileage, $149 a month. What? Yes, $149 a month with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Now that is huge.
Hey Rochester, you want a car that delivers unique European styling, sports car performance, and gets 38 mpg? Well, Doan Fiat presents the all-new exciting Fiat 500. Come see why this beautifully crafted car is for everyone. Many extras come standard, room for the family, and a 5-star crash rating, starting at just $15,500. Rochester, see the Fiat 500 exclusively at Doan Fiat at the mall at Grease Ridge.
We couldn't decide whether to move or fix up our home. We love where we live, so we decided to make improvements with money from our home's equity through Advantage Federal Credit Union.
Put your home to work for you with a low fixed-rate home equity loan or an amazing rate on a home equity line of credit from Advantage Federal Credit Union. Use the money for home improvements, debt consolidation, or most anything. You can't beat an Advantage home equity loan or home equity line of credit. Go to AdvantageFCU.org.
Thanks, Advantage.
Smart banking. What's in your nature? Curiosity? Passion? Innovation? Encouragement? Expression? Creativity? Exploration? What's in your nature? Find out at Finger Lakes Community College.
Atkinson awaits the kick. Meadows boots it. Atkinson will get a return chance from the 3-yard line. George Atkinson the third. And he returns it across the 35-yard line where Notre Dame will take over. And look at this, Tommy Rees, the starter from last season, who served a one-game suspension, did not play against Navy, is going to be called on to win the game for the Irish. And of course, he's been in this position before. And Coach Kelly telling us yesterday that as far as the backups to Golson, if it comes down to it, the long reliever would be Hendricks. The short reliever, if he's coming into the closer, that would be Tommy Reese. What do you think?
2 minutes and 5 seconds and no timeouts. He's going with veteran experience. I'd stay with Golson because of his big play capabilities.
And Tommy Reese coming into the game and draws a smattering of disapproval from the crowd at Notre Dame Stadium. And Reese winds up, tosses it downfield. That's a holding call, and there's the flag.
Easy call.
Obvious. We called it from up here.
You could see Feichter, the safety, knowing he was beat, pulls cloth. Troy Nicholas, right there.
Holding Troy Nicholas.
Yep. 6'7", 260. Feichter's got no shot at that.
And he's better off to, again, make the penalty and prevent what could have been severe damage.
Really interesting decision by Brian Kelly to go with the veteran who's been there before, has run the 2-minute offense, recognizes pass defense more quickly than Golson, but doesn't have the legs to get out of trouble or the arm strength of Golson.
Empty backfield. Reese down the sideline, way overthrown. That was intended for Jones.
And that was the right read, but his wide receiver didn't win. People are booing Tommy Reese. He saw the one-on-one on the edge with that no safety help. It was the correct read, but again, Josh Johnson, see, here it is. That's one-on-one with no safety help, but who wins that? Not T.J. Jones, Josh Johnson. So don't blame Tommy Reese on that one. You blame T.J. Jones for not winning.
Under 2 minutes. 2nd and 10. Reese scrambles, delivers the pass. It's caught by Toma, who does manage to get out of bounds. He's just shy of midfield to bring up a 3rd down play.
Trying to run some crossing routes because Purdue being predominantly man-to-man, they're looking to try to win across the middle. I've been so impressed with Josh Johnson and Tavian Edison for Purdue today. I can't even tell you. Johnson, to me, is the MVP of this game if they win.
Notre Dame has converted 9 of 16 3rd downs. This is the first for Tommy Reese.
Man-to-man here. Wide side.
The play clock was down. Here's this underthrow to Goodman, and Goodman makes the catch.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we talked about pre-snap. Man-to-man, one-on-one. I'm not sure he got it off before it hit 0.
I don't think he did.
But the ref, nobody called anything. And again, bottom of the screen, that's Big John Goodman, the wideout. Give Tommy Reese credit.
I thought he was going to try to call timeout, then realized he had none left.
But he, again, made the right read. He's a veteran quarterback.
So a 1st down. Here's wide open, and then the catch not made by Nicholas, just a little too tall.
And I'm not sure why he threw it on the other shoulder. Nicholas is wide open here. 6'7", 260, off the line of scrimmage. He beats Feichter right now. You won to the outside. There's no help outside. Don't throw it back inside. That was an accuracy issue by Tommy Reese right there. Could he have come down with that catch? Yes, but would have been a great catch.
2nd and 10 from the 41. 1:28 on the clock.
They just line up and they play you man. That's what they do.
And this one will be way overthrown and a push off to boot. Didn't matter. Uncatchable pass. Jones was closest to it.
Tommy trusted that T.J. Jones would try to beat him outside. T.J. went back inside, and an obvious disconnect.
Remember, the Irish playing without Tyler Eifert, their All-American tight end, who certainly would be a security blanket for any quarterback, be it Golson or Reese. He's not in the lineup.
They don't need to score a touchdown. You know, it's a tie ball game. All they need is about another at 10 yards from here, and all of a sudden they get the ball to the 30, 38. It's a 48-yard attempt. You don't need everything.
3rd down and 10. No timeouts remaining. He has his man. It's Toma. Robbie Toma takes it. A clutch catch. Pitch and catch by Reese and Toma. 21 yards and a first down.
Robbie Toma's been one of my favorite players for 3 years. Inside guy, he's going to win outside quick. Tommy's going to roll to his right and give it to him on time and in the right place. Toma gets out of bounds, stops the clock, and to Brian Kelly's credit, if you're looking back a couple of minutes ago, he made the decision to go with the veteran. He's jump-started the offense, and they are now officially in field goal position.
4 receptions, 33 yards for Robbie Toma today. Now a minute 18 remaining. No timeouts. First down at the 20. Remember, Brinza missed a 40-yard field goal badly earlier. So they try to run it. Inside the 20 is Riddick.
A short beat the center, Braxton Cave, that time, and they just have not been able to block those interior tackles. But let's stay with Tommy Rees here. You make the decision to go with him, and Tom, he's made the correct decision on every throw. Hasn't made the correct throw every time. Hasn't been quite as accurate on a couple of them, but he's gone to the correct receiver every single time.
Inside the final minute. The good kickoff return by Atkinson, and then Tommy Rees, the closer, coming in, trying to win the game for Notre Dame. We're inside 40 seconds. Hand it off, try to keep it in the center of the field, and Riddick with a couple of moves. And he's inside the 10. That's a first down. That'll stop the clock. $12-yard gain.
One of the few positives, just the inside zone. Really good job by Golick in the center cave, collapsing the inside of the line of scrimmage. Tommy spikes it. Neither team has any timeouts left. Wow.
You know, spikes to stop the clock, and Coach Kelly coaching him up.
Watch Riddick finish the run. 200 pounds. Watch him drop the pad level and finish through people holding onto the football. 3 guys are trying to rip it away. You know, I think he's much more at home at the tailback position than he ever was at slot.
22 seconds on the clock. The ball's at the 8-yard line.
Middle of the field.
Reese just runs it to the middle of the field and takes a knee.
Get everybody lined up because you got to clock it again.
Gonna spike the ball to stop the clock. There it is.
He was hitting Braxton on the butt about 8 times asking for it. Give it to me.
11 seconds left, and the field goal unit comes out. Kyle Brinza, the sophomore from Canton, Michigan, missed a 40-yarder earlier, then hit a field goal that was shorter distance, lining up for the winning field goal from 27 yards away.
The important thing here is to elevate it quickly because that guy right there has 6 career blocks. So just take your time, but get it elevated.
Brinza nailed it.
I'm excited for Tommy Rees.
So Tommy Rees, the big question was, how would he accept that 1-game suspension? Would he hang his head? Would he pout? No, every one of his teammates that we have spoken with has said no. He's been supportive. He's helped Everett Golson in every way possible. Brian Kelly telling us yesterday that if the game came down to needing a quarterback to win it for him, he would go with his closer, he said, to use a baseball analogy, and that would be Tommy Rees, who's been in this situation before. Tommy Rees drives Notre Dame down the field for the go-ahead field goal with 7 seconds left. Tommy Rees entered the game with 2:12 left, and the ball at his own 35-yard line. 12 plays, 55 yards, 2:05 later. They have the go-ahead field goal.
Made every single read correctly, threw it to the right receiver every single time. And you got to give him a ton of credit because he's been through a lot, and he's going to pull a game out for Notre Dame.
Now Brinza will just squib it, we would assume. Mostert led the nation last year in kickoff returns, but stopped short of midfield with 1 second on the clock.
Wow.
So 1 second left.
Now you're going to see an arm strength throw, right? Either that or something underneath to try and with the lateral plays, but one or the other, because you don't know if Turbush could throw it into the end zone from here, which I don't think he can. There's a shell for you.
Barring a penalty, the final snap of the game. Turbush heaves it downfield, up for grabs and intercepted.
Get down. Get down, Bennett Jackson.
His second interception of the game, and he's just going to run it across the sideline and out of bounds. And Notre Dame has won the game as Tommy Rees comes in and leads them on a field goal drive to win the game in the final 2 minutes. A tough loss for Danny Hope and the gallant Boilermakers of Purdue. Tommy Rees took the Irish 12 plays, 55 yards. Brinza hit the 27-yard field goal, and Notre Dame has won it to go 2-0 on the season and to beat Purdue for the 5th consecutive time.
How do you spell relief, Tom? Oh, boy. You know, Brian Kelly told us yesterday, as you said so well, short relief, it's Tommy. I questioned the decision, but now looking at it in hindsight, every decision was the right one. Every throw was correct. 2 minutes, no timeouts. He trusted the veteran.
He heard the boos when he came onto the field, but when he was suspended for a game, he didn't hang his head. He hung in there, and sweet redemption for Tommy Rees. Let's go to Alex.
You know how that gets.
So, Coach Kelly, wow, final drive. You guys barely eked this one out. Take me inside the decision to put Tommy Rees in this game.
Well, Everett got a little banged up on the last play. His hand on the fumble. It was a play earlier, and he had a hard time gripping the ball. And Tommy's got a good, obviously he's been in these games before, so it's great to have a guy that you can put in there in a situation like this and manage your 2 minute.
We had talked before this game about the potential of him being your closer because of that experience. Did that play into it, or was it just the injury to Everett?
Well, again, he's a guy that we would use in those kinds of situations if we needed to manage a 2 minute. As you know, they brought a lot of pressure today, a lot of different looks. So to have a guy that's that veteran, that's seen it all, he made great checks. And I'm proud of John Goodman, too, another senior stepping up for us and coming up with a big catch.
Is this going to make for an exciting week with the media asking you quarterback questions?
Yeah, Everett Golson's our starter. I'll get that out of the way right now.
Thanks, Coach.
The Notre Dame Football Replay has been brought to you by Team Notre Dame members, Adidas, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Gatorade, Sprint, and Xerox. And is also sponsored by Bank of America, Bud Light, Xfinity from Comcast, IU Health, MetaFast, Mazda, Coors Light, and SiriusXM Satellite Radio.
This is Time Warner Cable SportsNet, Rochester's sports network.